Truma, makers of the Combi Heater and iNet system, are proud to sponsor Practical Motorhome TV.
Hello and welcome to Practical Motorhome TV. Now, viewers of Practical Caravan TV will know that we're at the NEC checking out the hot new models for 2017. Now, obviously the new model year brings a wealth of opportunities for manufacturers as they work very hard to trump last season's offerings. So let's see what they've managed to pull off, because there are a fair few surprises in the halls at Birmingham. Now, we've snuck in here on setup day, and the great thing about that is we get to see all these vans before Joe Public does. The only slight downside, maybe some buzzing saws in the background or some relentless beeping. But I digress. We get to look at some cracking new products like this Auto Trail Tracker RS. Now, RS isn't a new model, but it's improved for the 2017 season. So what are these improvements exactly? The first concerns the awning. This used to be mounted on the side, but is now on the roofline. And this has allowed a more aerodynamic profile and has also facilitated something very interesting inside. Just before we get onto that though, the other thing of note is that this van used to be 6.1 meters long. Now it is 6.94 meters long. So there's some extra real estate inside to play with. Now, the revised position of the awning has enabled a major change inside the vehicle, and that is a brand new design for the overhead lockers. There's actually more room inside, and they get a funky new facing for 2017. Another design change concerns these bulkheads here. In last year's models, they kind of overlap the lockers slightly, but this time they've been cut right back. So you get this amazing sweep of locker. A very pleasing design effect indeed, I feel. Now, this is a low-line van. You'll notice the two overhead lockers above the cab. The high-line version, which is a cost option, gives you a double bed. So if you really want to take friends and family away with you and intrude on all your private time, you can do exactly that. Now, I mentioned an increase in length, and the beneficiary of that has been the offside single sofa, which is now 6 feet long. So you can actually use it as a single bed. Of course, you can fit more people in the lounge now with the extra length. So 3 on this side, 2 on this side, and 1 person in the rotated passenger seat. And while we're talking about the cab, it's worth noting that you get the high-level stereo as part of the media pack, and also a colour television, which drops down seamlessly from the dashboard and allows you to watch Practical Motorhome TV while you're on the road. Now, this show van version of the RS has the parallel lounge configuration that makes up into a whopping double bed by sliding the slats into the gangway and rearranging the cushions. One other beneficiary for 2017 is the kitchen, which now has an L-shaped arrangement for the worktop. This has been made possible by taking out the square fridge and using a super slimline version on the other side of the vehicle. All very good. It also gives you some amazing storage under the sink, so you've got space for pots, pans and cutlery. Very thoughtful. And next to that we have a dual fuel cooker with 1 electric ring and 3 gas burners for maximum flexibility if you're the kind of person who lets your gas supplies dwindle. Above that, and a further back up, you have a microwave oven, and underneath a separate oven and grill, all very considered. Opposite that you have a wardrobe that opens from the side and has a half-length drop, and that sits atop a convector heater which is distributed around the van using blown air. Some other changes are to be found in this commodious end washroom, the first of which concerns the shower compartment, which has now been widened to attract a greater range of people. There's a rail in the top that comes down to enable you to dry your wet towels and clothes. The choice is yours. A bifold door, a light and some storage for lotions and potions is also included. You also have a swivel loo at the back, a vanity unit here, half-length mirror and storage underneath and up above here. And also you'll notice a fairly distinctive feature, see-through glass on the back of the van. Very interesting indeed, but if you are worried about any voyeurs out there on site, you can lock them out really easily. Now, as they say in France, bonne nuit. Now, the extra length has resulted in some storage improvements in this van, but how good is this? You have a vertical locker at the back that allows easy access to the look cassette, and it also has a shelf in the middle that tips up and down on a hinge, giving you maximum flexibility. Now, the Auto Trail Tracker RS is based on the Fiat Ducato with a 3,500 kilogram chassis. As standard, it has a payload of 240 kilograms. If that's not enough, of course, then C1 license holders can upgrade to 3,650 kilograms free of charge, thus upping your payload. There have been some remarkable improvements to this van for the new season, and that extra length really will come in handy. One thing's for certain, it's moved slightly away from the ferry-friendly length of 6 metres, but look at the cost-benefit analysis, and the pros certainly outweigh the cons.
Elddis Autoquest range has been a staple of the manufacturer for quite a few seasons now, but mainly as a 2-berth or a 4-berth, which makes it ideal for smaller families. For the 2017 season, the main differences for the whole range have been a lower chassis, which makes for a more comfortable driving experience and more comfortable on the road for all concerned. But the really good thing about this new model, the 196, is that it also comes with this drop-down bed. That means you can sleep 6 people in here quite easily, and it has the same number of belted seats. That means that Elddis can compete with the Italian manufacturers who specialise in motorhomes for large families, yet at the same time you get a really good high spec level in a British built van. That high spec level I mentioned is immediately apparent when you come to the kitchen. In this motorhome you get a grille and an oven, a decent sized fridge, and perhaps most of all, particularly important for a large family van, is a huge amount of kitchen workspace all around here, which is nicely lit and comes with the attraction of an extension flap that doesn't get in the way of the door, so you can have the kids running in from their games without worrying about them banging their heads. All in all, it's a kind of large family kitchen I'd be really happy to see in a motorhome like this. The really good thing about 2-lounge motorhomes like this is that while the kids can be doing their stuff up at the front, you and the missus can be relaxing back here with a nice glass of wine. This rear lounge is really nicely lit, and there's a TV bracket where you can put your TV as well. So it's a great place to spend an evening. The only thing, particularly for people my size, to watch out for is a step just here. For a relatively cheap motorhome, you do at least get an uber-trendy salad bowl wash basin in this washroom, but you don't, unfortunately, get a separate shower compartment. Outside, however, you get this great mirror, so you can make sure you're looking your best when you head out onto the caravan park. So, with the Autoquest 196, you get a family motorhome from a brand that everyone's heard of and trusts, so it should have a good resale value. As they themselves point out here, you have the same number of berths as you do belted seats, so you don't need to worry about whether people are properly belted up in the back. And what it really means is that with this van, Elddis has hit the big family motorhome market in a big way.
Now, strange as it may seem, Bailey Autograph is only the company's 5th motorhome range, and this, the 68-2, is its 6th release in this new series. And in case you're wondering, this is the 2nd van in the range that has a rear lounge, and it's one of 3 that comes in under 3,500 kilograms. The new range has a very pleasing exterior look, a back panel that wouldn't look out of place on an expensive German import, brilliant white sidewalls and cabs, and green and silver colourways for the decals. And these vans are based on the Alco AMC ultra-low chassis, so road holding is very good indeed, and you don't need an entrance step to get into the van. I'm only at this height because I'm at the show and I'm standing on a step because Bailey thought I was looking a little bit short when I turned up. Now, the 68-2 has an end lounge configuration, and we like this layout in the UK because on occasion, when the weather's not so good, we like spending time indoors. And this is a very pleasant place to be indeed. Parallel seat benches so you can look each other fondly across the gangway, and triple aspect windows. As an estate agent would say, very compact and bijou. And there's absolutely more styling goodness on evidence here. These Roman style windows with blinds, and yes, they all function. These blinds drop down and they make a very pleasing ensemble indeed. The The seats are very comfortable. They have this leather configuration, which is a cost extra, but the seating system is called Dream Sleep, which we shall get onto later. The support on the back is very good, and the squabs are good too. The only slight compromise is the length of the squab here along the back wall. It's not quite as comfortable as these because it's a little bit more shallow. But there is an upside to this. Say somebody on site has been eyeing up your van fondly from afar. You invite them in for a couple of drinks. Where would you make them sit? I'd put them there. Now, working on the assumption that you will spend some proportion of your touring adventures in this lounge looking for some entertainment in bad weather, Bailey has thought of your needs. The media pack gives you a 19.5-inch flat screen TV, which is on a little stand at the back here and is very good indeed. You can watch it over from this side. Take care to avoid these seats though, or sitting comfortably in this corner. But if that's not enough, there are some speakers to tap the audio straight into the lounge from the stereo or from the TV. But even if that is not really floating your boat, there is one other thing to pass away loads of time in this lounge that I particularly like, and that is courtesy of Italian design gods Technoform. How good is that? Now, the good news is there's another one of these overhead lockers in the kitchen, so you can get similar levels of enjoyment just by doing that. But here, of course, it fulfills a valuable storage function, and they look very good with the worktop and units underneath. In case you're wondering, 3 drawers, soft closing, so you can pull things towards you rather than rummaging around at the back of a cupboard. The other thing at the top here is the cutlery drawer, which basically allows you to put the cutlery at the front and tip it in very easily. Now, the sink at the back is basically that shape because of having to accommodate this drawer, and is the only thing in the kitchen where I think a little bit more work on the styling wouldn't have gone amiss. There are 4 screws, and it just seems a little bit of an odd shape when taken as part of the kitchen ensemble. Now, this also features dual fuel cooker and a combination oven and grill. Aren't you thinking the same as me, that a separate oven and grill would be better? Not so, says Bailey. Apparently, motor caravanners prefer an all-in-one unit, and who are we to argue? Other kitchen equipment includes a microwave oven on this side, and that's atop a tall, narrow fridge, so loads of space for all your touring provisions. Now, the offside washroom is located just behind the driver's seat, but it certainly packs everything in. You get a separate shower compartment, that's behind the swivel loo, and also a hand basin that wouldn't look out of place in a boutique hotel. The end lounge seating converts into a spacious double bed measuring 2.2 metres by 1.56. That's 6'11" by 5'1" in old money. It uses a Dream Sleep system, which is manageable to make up, and it's very comfortable too. Now, buyers of the new Bailey Autograph range get the very latest Peugeot engine, a Euro 6 compliant unit that's 2 litre and produces 160 bhp. You also need to use AdBlue. What's that? Well, it's a diesel exhaust fluid that you put into this little cap every 10,000 or so miles, and it basically keeps the emissions cleaner to meet the new standards. Now, let's just run some numbers about this new model. The Bailey Autograph 68.2 starts from £49,995 on the road. It's 6.8 metres long, and at 3,500 kilograms, anyone can drive it on a standard car licence. And that all-important user payload is very generous too, at 451 kilograms. There's loads of really desirable kit on board: Audi wet central heating, Technoform lockers, the Dream Sleep system, the list goes on. And it's hugely impressive to have such an accomplished model join the range. I think this particular van with its end lounge could be a real hit with British buyers.
This is the new Lunar Roadstar TI, one of 3 coach-built motorhomes Lunar's introducing for the 2017 season. They're all built entirely at Lunar's Lancashire factory, and it's the first time they've been building coach-built since 2008. So it's great to see a British manufacturer very much back in the coach-built market. It has a layout that should be familiar to anyone looking for an island bed in the rear, but with 1 or 2 rather nice little differences. And one of those differences is right here. In recent years, manufacturers who've had a layout like this with an island bed at the back have tended to have washroom either side in the middle. What that means is you then have a rather small kitchen. In contrast, Lunar's kept the washroom to this side, and what you then have is this huge kitchen. You get an oven and grill, a 4-burner hob, including an electric hot plate, an extractor fan, and under here, a microwave with some useful storage there as well. There's a decent sized fridge, and that's not to say the washroom is tiny either. You still get a separate shower compartment, a nice salad bowl wash basin, a good size overhead locker, and a really good size mirror as well. There's plenty of room for you to do your ablutions in the morning. That sense of space continues when you come to the front lounge, which is plenty roomy enough, is well lit, although I do feel this LED lighting looks like you're about to take off in the Enterprise. And it's nice to see also padding around the sharp corners so you don't scrape your skin anywhere. Right at the back, the island bed is perhaps a little bit on the short side, being only 5'10" long, so not ideal for someone of my height. But that does at least mean there's plenty of room for you to move around the bed, and that, after all, is what island beds are all supposed to be about. The other big difference about this van is the badge that's on the front. Because for once, this isn't a Fiat Ducato, it's a Renault Master. Lunar say they've gone for this particular base vehicle because of relatively easy availability of its automatic gearbox option. And that's something people looking for a van of this price range, which is 60,000 plus, would very much appreciate. So to sum up here, what we have is a British manufacturer that's very much back in the coach-built market, offering a van with an interesting design and some great spec on a base vehicle that's growing in popularity.
Take a long, hard look at the side of this new product and you'll notice something immediately. No, it's not a liner. It is in fact a low profile. It gives Niesmann+Bischoff an entree into the sub 3,500 kilogram segment. Ladies and gentlemen, we present the Smove. This 7.4e model has the classic parallel lounge configuration with a cocktail table and seats that swivel, so it is very sociable. An alternative bar version is also available, which has a travel seat further back and a protrusion here so you can serve drinks. It actually works very well in practice. So why did Niesmann+Bischoff want to move into this particular market segment with the Smove? Well, I understand it's to attract well-heeled motor caravanners and perhaps company directors who travel a lot to meetings around the country and want to travel and arrive in comfort and style. Now, it may be a low profile, but there's been no drop-off in quality. Just look at this illumination behind the grab handle and the granite effect panel, both carryovers from the A-Class ranges, and also this delicious infill in the door here, absolutely amazing. Now you're probably wondering, just like me, where the kitchen is, but don't worry, Niesmann+Bischoff hasn't left it out. It is in fact concealed under this handy flap. Up it goes to reveal a sink, and on the other side, 2 gas burners. Storage provision in the kitchen comes courtesy of these drawers down here, which, as you would expect, have a bin inside and are soft closing. There's also an overhead locker. And talking about the lockers, just look how they're integrated into the roofline of the low profile section. Very well done. And look at this fabric that Niesmann+Bischoff has used. Brilliant. And also the 2 roof lights up here with the skylight above the cab. Everything perfectly integrated. And the overhead locker ambient lighting is spot on as always. Now the washroom is positively luxurious. It has a shower and a sliding loo. How clever is that? No self-respecting couples van would be without the fixed twin single beds, and in that department the 7.4e certainly delivers. Other models in the range have different sleeping configurations, like a transverse bed, but I think you have to say that when it comes to convenience, this layout certainly trumps the other one. The 7.4e is based on the Fiat Ducato, and without loads of options, the payload starts from 480 kilograms. The price is £70,800 on the road, but that is without any options, and they were plenty fitted to this test van. This is a fantastic motorhome, and as you would expect, the quality, fit and finish from Niesmann+Bischoff speaks for itself. I suggest that you probably clear out the whole house, sell the yacht, sell the second house, sell everything and buy one of these. And indeed, if that is your line of thinking, then I suggest you smooth it down to your local Niesmann+Bischoff dealer, which in actual fact is in Telford. So we talk a lot on this show about where the habitation door is on a motorhome. If you're buying one manufactured in continental Europe, then generally it will be on the offside. Not so handy if you've pulled up at the side of the road in the UK and you're trying to disgorge your passengers into traffic. But fantastic, on the other hand, if you're touring in the continent when the habitation door is in fact on the correct side. But what if you had a solution that blows these two things completely away by having the door on the back of the vehicle? Well, that's what this new coach built from New Venture does, and it's very impressive indeed. Now, one of the great advantages of this layout, of course, is that entering through the back of the vehicle, you come down this central corridor to get to the lounge. It's a very straightforward layout and its simplicity is very pleasing. Twin parallel sofas here, so you can stare out of the windows at the side of the van and enjoy the open aspect. And also at night times, these convert into a very comfortable double bed or twin singles if you're not romantically linked. Storage facilities are pretty good too. I counted 10 overhead lockers, and there are also some spaces under the bed boxes down here. Now this van is 5.64 metres long, but it still manages to pack a lot in on its body length. You have a perfectly serviceable kitchen area with a gas cooker and a 3-way fridge and a large sink, so it covers all the eventualities that you'll need in the galley. There's also a very comfortable washroom. This van is based on the Ford Transit Custom, which is another tick in the credit box. It's an absolute bell ringer of a base vehicle. It's very car-like to drive. What do we mean by that? Well, it drives like a car. But joking apart, the transmission is very smooth, the driving position is excellent, the ergonomics of the cab are spot on, and also you get a long list of items as standard kit. And what's more, it has the very latest Ford engine, which is Euro 6 compliant by using AdBlue. 2 litre, and it packs a really good punch indeed. New Venture's Ford Transit Custom conversion starts from £46,500. It's 5.64 metres long and has a payload of 600 kilograms. All hugely impressive, and what's more, it's been developed in conjunction with campervan kings Wellhouse Leisure, who've brought their much needed know-how to the market and put it to very good use on this particular base vehicle. So if you're looking for a classy coach built that's compact and easy to go anywhere, then this could be a new venture in your touring life. Swift's Escape range is one of the biggest names in British motor caravanning. It's an affordable lineup for people that are new to the pastime, and the prices are certainly very eye-catching. It's brand new for 2017 too, with 6 new models, including the 694, which has a rear fixed island bed. So what exactly are the changes for the new season? Well, far too many to list while I'm standing out here. We'd best get inside and have a look for ourselves. When the Escape range was first conceived, it was launched as an affordable range to take the fight to the continental imports that were quite cheap and numerous on the UK market at the time. Since then, it has moved progressively upmarket, and the latest 2017 version leaves me wondering what is particularly budget about this range at all. Answer, not very much. Look at these overhead lockers. They're definitely not the kind of thing you see in an entry-level van. And all the other little touches like the ambient lighting, the upmarket upholstery and the surrounds for the windows. And they've got rid of curtains in lieu of this honeycomb design, which is very pleasing indeed. Now this 694 is a new layout, and it's given Swift's designers an opportunity to flex their muscles. Look at this L-shaped kitchen layout, very good. You have 3 gas burners, a combination oven and grill, and a microwave oven to cover all sorts of cooking duties. You also get the on-trend skinny fridge, and also some storage above here, and a smart round sink with a monoblock tap. There are also a pair of 230-volt sockets, carefully rotated through 90 degrees to get rid of any potential cable foul. Now, none of these features are things that are usually the staples of a budget van, thus reinforcing the notion that this range really has moved upmarket. Further proof that this range has moved upmarket is confirmed by the appearance of an island bed. There really isn't much more you can have in terms of comfort and convenience, and definitely something you find in more expensive ranges. Now the execution of it is pretty clever here. There isn't a huge amount of space around the end of the bed, but if you remove the filler cushion next to the headboard, then you can push it back for that access that you need. And thoughtfully, Swift has included a handy dressing station at the foot of the bed that has one power point for your hairdryer, curling tongs, or whatever takes your fancy. And for reasons of space, Swift has obviously included a multifunction washroom, where the shower tray basically constitutes the loo floor. There's nothing wrong with that, of course. You get an eco-camel showerhead, half-length mirror, and a smart-looking vanity unit in the corner. And if the island bed at the back isn't enough, then the L-shaped lounge will convert into another double bed. Another great feature, and again reinforcing those credentials going slightly upmarket, is Swift's command control system. You can control many things using a smartphone app sitting down. Dim the lights? No problem at all. The Swift Escape 694 is 7.41 metres long, and it rides on the Fiat Ducato with a 3,500 kilogram chassis and MTP-LM. The payload is very generous, 620 kilograms, with plenty of places to put all your touring kit, from overhead lockers, under the rear fixed bed of course, and here in this very carefully constructed rear garage. Very good thinking indeed, Swift. So this van will cost you just £45,000 on the road, which seems a terrific value for money proposition. The fact you get an island bed in this range is very exciting too. But this isn't just an old van, this is completely reimagined for the 2017 season. And I cannot imagine for a minute that these aren't going to fly off the forecourts quicker than you can say escape by Swift. So how about this? The Renault Trio from CMC Renault. Now this new van starts with £39,500 on the road, and as standard it sleeps two. It has 5 belted travel seats in total, and the rear bed mechanism can actually be removed from the van, so you can use it as a bona fide load lugger. CMC stands for Concept Multicar, and it's a Kent-based converter which is the only one in the UK authorised to do full conversions by parts supplier Rymo, who make the roof for this vehicle. So it's very unsurprising to see that the fit and finish is of a very high standard indeed. Little surprise, because CMC's core business is converting the VW Transporter, so the company has a great pedigree and certainly knows what it's doing. Now as standard, this is the short wheelbase version. You can have the long wheelbase version of the base vehicle for an extra £2,000. So this is going to be particularly useful for increasing the floor space in this area. And just look at the conversion, top quality, everything you need in that camper side kitchen, and you can also have 2 extra beds in the roof for an extra cost. Now it's great to see another high quality conversion on the Renault Trafic. It's a particularly good base vehicle for motorhomes, and one that we're a really big fan of on this show. Now this demonstrator unit is actually the Renault Trafic Sport, so for a few extra pounds you get a few added bells and whistles. DAB radio, colour sat-nav and this leather steering wheel, so it feels less like a delivery van and more like a leisure vehicle. So to recap then, for £39,500 on the road, if you're a little bit badge agnostic and it doesn't have to be VW, then this could be a fantastic way to go. Sadly, that's all we've got time for on this week's show, and indeed for the whole series. We're taking a short break, but we'll be back soon with some more hot site and van reviews, plus technical excellence from the likes of Diamond Dave. In the meantime, you can keep in touch with us via our website, Facebook or Twitter. For now though, there's only one thing left for me to do. Cheers!
Truma, makers of the Combi Heater and iNet system, are proud to sponsor Practical Motorhome TV.